Hello, welcome back to the Daily Bible Summary, where the goal is to renew your mind as we read a new chapter every day and ask the question, what can I learn? Today's episode is entitled, Joseph Tests His Brothers. Please read chapter 42 first if you haven't, and if you have, then let's get started. Chapter 42 takes us back to Canaan, where we find that Jacob is about to send his sons to Egypt, the only place that seems to have grain. Not wanting to send Benjamin, who seems to be the new favorite since he thinks Joseph is dead, the other 10 brothers head on down to Egypt. Boy, are they in for a big surprise. Joseph is taking his duties seriously. He does not seem to be delegating the duties to others, at least not as it applies to people from foreign lands coming in to buy food. All roads to food appear to lead to Jesus. Joseph. But if you remember the parallels from yesterday, this parallel also stands. Joseph recognizes his brothers, even though they do not recognize him. Now, why would that be? Why wouldn't they recognize him? Well, remember, Joseph was 17 to 18 years of age when he was sold into slavery. And it's been about 20 years since that happened. And, teenagers do change a lot as they near 40. I know that I did. Also, he's speaking through an interpreter, and they would never have expected him in this position. Indeed, we might ask in wonderment, is anything too hard for God? We can also understand Joseph being a little rough with his brothers, but I don't think this is about revenge at all. Ultimately, he wants to see what kind of men they are and if they have changed. This will unfold more in the coming chapters. Right now, he just wants to know if his father and brother Benjamin are okay, so he quizzes them about their family. Then he accuses them of spying out the vulnerabilities of Egypt, probably like a scouting mission to attack the country, and throws them in jail for 3 days. Of course, they deny everything, and Joseph strikes a deal with them to keep one of the brothers and send the others home. But if they want that brother back, they need to bring Benjamin back with them. Here, he learns something interesting. In front of Joseph, but in the Hebrew language, Reuben chastises them with what goes around comes around. They should have left Joseph alone and not sold him. Knowing that Reuben did not approve the sale causes Joseph to take Simeon as the hostage. He was the second oldest, and so he is the one being held responsible. Joseph takes them back with grain. Joseph sends them back with grain, provisions, and, unknown to them, the money they had brought with them. He charges them to bring the youngest back, or they will not see Simeon again. When they get home, they cannot believe, in their words, the bad luck that God has brought upon them. No prayers of inquiry, just assumptions here. Jacob cannot believe that they had another brother. He flat out refuses to send Benjamin back, and he's already considering Simeon dead. Reuben tries to convince Jacob by offering his 2 sons as collateral. Kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. But Jacob will not hear of it and refuses, believing that if something happens to Benjamin, he himself will surely die in sorrow. So what can we learn from this chapter? First of all, God does not reveal everything to us, and that is okay, and it should be okay in our lives. The brothers do not know why this is happening, and they think God is punishing them. Jacob does not know that Joseph is alive, and even Joseph does not know God's full plan yet. So everyone needs to live by faith without seeing the whole picture. Now Jacob could be confident in the promises God had made to him to give him and his descendants the land, but how and when and what troubles they would go through, God did not share all of that. This is an important point because as we live our lives not knowing what plans God may have for us, that is okay. All we are asked to do is live our lives faithfully to Him. God did not share with Elijah what was wrong with the widow on her way to see him. Paul was not told by God how Titus was faring on his trip to Corinth. Everyone has to live their life as it comes, trusting God even when we cannot see what He's doing. So here's a thought question for you. Are you waiting for God to reveal His entire plan before you trust Him? Can you follow Him faithfully even when you do not see the whole picture? A second lesson may be, do not assume that God is punishing you when trouble comes. The brothers immediately blamed God, or at least they blamed their troubles on God. What is it that God has done to us? But they never asked God for wisdom or for help. They just assumed the worst. Yes, we do reap what we sow, and their guilt was real in regard to their brother Joseph. But our first response should be prayer, not accusation. James chapter 1 verse 5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously without reproach, and it will be given him." Just because someone steals your car doesn't mean you are being punished. I do not see any appeal to God from these men, and that does kind of surprise me. Perhaps they just did not feel as close to God as God followers should. For us today, we should know that we can go to God for help in time of need. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 16 encourages us to draw near with confidence to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. For your final thought question, consider this. When trouble comes, is it your first response to blame God or to ask Him for help? Tomorrow, Lord willing, we will see all the brothers united, but Joseph will not reveal himself yet as the testing continues. Remember, as we continue to read God's Word and test ourselves, we will each day renew our minds.